Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I have good news and bad news. Good news is we're here. We're all alive. Bad news is we're not going to get to view a launch today or the actual launch that's taking place right now. Um, the Chinese government is not as transparent as some of the others in the world. My speculation with why we're not going to see one tonight is that this rocket's last flight or second to last flight failed. Um, so it was a failure. This is a Chinese private company that's sending up payloads to space, um, and it appears that we are not going to get a launch this evening or footage of a launch. I mean, it's still going to launch. It's nowhere. I've been looking at Chinese state TV. I've been looking at all over. Um, so it I'm assuming that we're just not going to get one tonight um, from this specific rocket. Uh, we may still get the Orient space that is in about an hour. Um, it's also a Chinese rocket that's scheduled uh, for tonight, early in the morning. So 12:30 a.m. Eastern is when it's supposed to go up. But instead, I thought we'd go through the rocket, look at its previous launch, and kind of just get you a little bit more familiar with Galactic Energy, this Ceres-1 mission or Ceres-1 rocket. Um, Gravity 1 is coming up now or later. Uh, and then when we get to tomorrow's launch schedule at 11:44 p.m. Eastern Time, the Mitsubishi Heavy Industries rocket IGS Optical 8 from Japan will be launching. So that'll be on tomorrow's. And I will be joined by special guest, friend of the channel, Max Mura, who is in Tokyo. Um, so I'm really looking forward to that as well. So we'll go through kind of a little bit about Ceres and Galactic Energy, find out who they are and what they do. So this is Ceres rocket. They have some pretty cool names for their missions and stuff like that. So uh, you are still a mod, yeah. It's kind of a lifetime appointment. Um, so Chinese private rocket firm Galactic Energy has completed an investigation of a recent failure, the first for the startup after 9 successful orbital launches in a row. Uh, Company said it will ramp up efforts with quality control in the future. Gaining altitude for 67.5 seconds after liftoff from Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center in northwest China on September 21st, Galactic Energy's mature rocket model Ceres-1 was unstable in altitude and failed to reach orbit. So we're not going to get into kind of what went wrong and stuff like that, but there's a whole article on what went wrong. I figured it would be a little bit better. It is generally a sea launch, which is kind of neat. Um, so they launch it off a barge. Uh, so it is a full solid propellant launch vehicle, named after the first asteroid discovered by humans. Ceres is the god of agriculture and harvest in Roman mythology. Ceres-1 is the first solid propellant launch vehicle of Galactic Energy and its main carrier rocket type for the narrowband Internet of Things network construction and constellation supplemental launch. They also have Pallas, which is a liquid fueled rocket. And they have some kind of basic. This will be what's on the Ceres. So a solid propellant motor. So after we get over here, we have the Ceres solid propellant launch vehicle. So it takes 400 kilos to LEO, 300 kilos to sun synchronous orbit. Uh, it has a 1.4 meter diameter fairing load space and 2.5 meters in height. Advanced liquid upper stage. The third stage is a GS solid engine, 15 tons of thrust for 70-second specific impulse. Second stage is a single light year GS2 solid engine, 30 tons of thrust with a 70-second specific impulse. And the first stage is a single light year GS1 solid engine with 60 tons of thrust and 73 seconds of specific impulse. This is kind of the rocket. It has one engine. It is very, very rudimentary, but sometimes simplicity works best. So that's kind of 200 or 2600 millimeters, or one Tiger, I guess, fits in top of their in top of their thing. So I'm wondering. So this is their light year engine, GS1. Again, it's just an engine bell with solid propellant and a booster. 2 is obviously a little bit bigger, and then 1 is considerably bigger. So they're just stages. They're packed solid propellant with an engine bell and nozzle. Light it up and let it go. Hey Walter, how are you? And this is kind of yeah. I mean, it's a very simplistic design, but it's effective. So that's kind of what this looks like. And like I said, this is going to be a shorter stream just because we aren't going to get coverage, which is unfortunate. I wish the Chinese government would cover them like other countries, but they just simply don't. So this is a previous launch, and this is the Ceres-1 S, and this is from China. So it launches off the Little Mermaid. So as you can see, it just goes. Being that they're Chinese, I would consider them to be probably significantly cheaper, but I don't know for sure. But that's kind of the base mission profile. There's some photographs. Let me see. Do you remember what did we figure the other day, Comer, on the reuse? 3.2 million, right? Does that sound about right? Because apparently, and this is Wikipedia, but it's the first thing I could find. Oh, here's one better. IE Spectrum. A little bit better than Wikipedia. Launch will cost clients a flat rate of $4 million per launch. Working on reducing the launch price. So, depending on your mission profile, obviously the Falcon 9 is going to take a much larger payload, and they charge more than that. But I'm trying to see. So about 10,000. Yeah. Okay, so I'll just go over here. So series launch will cost the clients a flat rate of US 4 million, says Lou, who adds, we're working on reducing the launch price to less than 10,000 per kilo, which is pretty good. While SpaceX's partially reusable Falcon 9 offers lower price per kilo, which is about $8,000 per kilo. Smaller satellites will hitch a ride on this much lighter rocket, must accept the schedule and chosen orbit of the main payload. So it's really going to be you're not gonna have a lot of options. It's going to kind of be the value ride to space, and you'll go with whoever pays for the main ride. Um, so there's not whereas SpaceX can put you in different orbital inclinations and uh, different directions. This one seems that it's specifically just going to be there, and that's reflected by the solid stage aspect of the rocket, um, because there's not a lot of maneuverability. There's no relights, nothing like that. It's just up and gone. So, um, they do. Again, just speculation. That's all it is. I don't know for sure, but I would assume since their last one failed, they're being careful with this one. Um, so like I said, it's unfortunate. Um, Firing test. So I think that would probably be the main determiner or the main factor is that there was a failure because I believe 2 through 7 or 2 through 8, they actually broadcast. 2 through 9, something like that. Um, so they broadcast a large number of them, and then after the failure, they haven't broadcast. So maybe after they're, you know, uh, maybe after they're a little bit more reliable, they'll bring them back up. But yeah, so that is kind of the mission profile. You got to see a launch, although not the one tonight, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, so that's probably going to be it for this one. Like I said, at 12:30 a.m. Eastern time, so about 100 minutes from now, we should get a launch another Chinese rocket, uh, which will be the Gravity 1 maiden flight out of Haiyang Spaceport in the China coastal waters. So I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully we can get a good feed of that one. So it's unfortunate that we can't get good feeds, but if I can bring it, I certainly will. And like I said, tomorrow we certainly have um, the Mitsubishi Heavy Industries IGS Optical 8. I know for sure we have footage of that one, or we'll have live footage of that one. That one's going from Japan, and we'll have my friend from Tokyo, Max Mura. He'll be joining us for that specific launch. And then, of course, we have a Starlink Group 710 that was pushed back to Friday, January 12th at 4 a.m. from Vandenberg. And then we have several other launches in between there. So I want to thank everybody for stopping by and cross your fingers the 12:30 that we can find actual footage for. I'm hoping just as much. Um, but thanks for stopping by. If it's your first time on the channel, please hit that subscribe button. We cover everything that has video. And if you've been here before, hit that like on the way out. And I hope to see you again. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.